One in store between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
For a berth in the AFC Championship game, off we go in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here come the Ravens now, ready to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the final pick of the first round in 2018 out of Louisville. It's Lamar Jackson. Throwing now, Jackson on first down. And he's going to keep it here. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. And here now, the Baltimore offense.
And this is a unit that has to feel good about itself. Got the win last week in the wild card round, and oftentimes we say you want to get the open week and get some rest, but many times we see the upsets happen with a team that won the week before and has momentum on its side.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. And let's run through the Dolphins' defense.
Von Miller is so good that he doesn't even need a nickname. His ability to bend and dip on the pass rush, unequaled in this league.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Jackson now. Open man is Godwin. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Of course, he's coming off that monster game in their wild card victory, but that's his first catch here in the divisional round. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll make this a 2nd and 13. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on third down. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. From the gun, it's Jackson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. And to give this time to the tailback. He finds an opening past the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
That one goes for 30 yards.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
On first down, Carson. Jerome Baker there on the tackle.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Play action. Now Jackson. Looking downfield for Godwin. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now they try the right side here. And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
looking to throw. It's the former Dolphin All-Pro Olivier Vernon. With a big-time sack on third down, it's a loss of 7. We've seen a couple of Super Bowls start 2-0. The first score of this game could have very easily been a safety. That was close there.
It was close, and while it didn't happen in this game, it's funny you bring up the Super Bowls because that would have been, what, Super Bowl 46, Giants-Patriots.
You're testing my memory.
And also Super Bowl 48, which was Broncos-Seattle when the snap went over the head of the QB. And guess what? It was 2-zip Seattle right out of the gate.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to take off with it. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a first. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced a ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
They can't stop us. They cannot hold us down.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Now it's Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, complete. It's short. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. This is Hunt. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Hey, let's get this, get this.
That'll be caught over the middle by Moss. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a 1st down as well.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Chandler Jones leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
23 yards the pickup there.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
Man, I got you. Jim.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They still playing echo. Y'all playing the wrong football. Kill.
2nd and 9 now. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. That's going to be caught. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not have the balls go through goalposts.
Bust through the tackle. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. Now Carson fumbles the football, and this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even if...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Now a play fake here on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Christian Wilkins. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Throwing is Jackson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
There's Jackson on third and long. And that is incomplete. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
.44-yard punt, return of 9. And it'll be Dolphin football. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, is that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, like I said, he's looked pretty good to this point. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. They'll run with Hunt on 2nd down. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down now. It's Hunt, and the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. He'll drop to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. This is intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Jackson on 1st down. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. And Jackson throwing once more. They'll roll him out right. He'll try and run it. Touchdown, Ravens.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do or, I guess, don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him.
It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A big play there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Dolphins are going to jump back in front. They had just given up the lead, and they get it right back.
Yeah, how about that? Answered quickly. Got right back to it. And look, long drives have their place. We know that. They can wear teams down. But when you hit them with big plays like that, that can really be a shot to him. A big-time one.
Yeah, one play, but now your defense is probably saying, man, we could have used a little more rest over here. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. You're down 3 under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit.
And now nothing but green ahead of him. He's at the 30. 10. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Chris Carson, 75 yards. And the Ravens have once again taken the lead. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
It's a short kick, taken at the 15. And a nifty return there as he's all the way up past the 40-yard line.
Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 first down, and you're almost in field goal position.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. So the ball moves from their own 41 to the other 41 here for 1st and 10.
58, right up. Yeah. Mike, 58, right there. Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy.
They'll look to throw here. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds now. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Second and 10. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Ravens. But they will not be able to capitalize as time has run out here on the first half of play. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Win or go home, that That's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC divisional round. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it past the 50-yard line so they felt they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Right there, 55. Come on, baby.
2nd and 6. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
That's how we do it.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll set up to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas.
Interception. Come on, guys. We got this.
First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. They run again with Carson. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball.
Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. How about the safety, Minka Fitzpatrick, swooping in for the sack?
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this third quarter. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Check. Lucky,
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to rifle, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football? We're not seeing it right now.
They run on first down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming. Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. We'll get an update when we come back to Hard Rock Stadium. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. To throw is Jackson. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. Now Jackson on first down. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And they finally put it into this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37.
Okay, partner. No surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Me and you all day. All day. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Go. That's it. Let's go. Ready?
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Finds his tight end Ingram. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. This quarterback now 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4.
Let's go.
9 yards on the play there, and it'll set him up 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Taking it in from 4 yards out as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. So that drive, 4 plays. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Fitting for what's been a tight ball game. We're all even at 20 now as the kick's away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here comes the Miami defense. They make their way back onto the field. Their offense failed to put up any points. Now they'll be looking for the stop.
It's a responsibility now because in a tie game, okay, the offense didn't score, didn't put any points on the board. But guess what? We're not going to allow them to score at all either. They'll keep volleying back and forth until someone gets an advantage.
Yeah, right now, no advantage. Tie game. The Ravens get a new set of downs, give them 17 on that pickup. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And now he'll tuck it and run. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Dolphins have got it.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
2nd and 4. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. On first down, they'll run with Hunt. Matt Judon there to bring him down. A 4-receiver look here. 3 out to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 8. 1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's 2nd and 8. Got a man open. That's Devontae Parker complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 37. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They'll run on first down. Hunt. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. When you talk to these guys in training camp, these are the moments they say they live for. You're in a playoff game. It's tied, 4th quarter. Time for somebody to step up.
And can you execute under pressure? Because the pressure is intense right now. No one wants to be responsible for making the error that costs their team. But at the same time, who's going to be responsible for making the play that gives the advantage to your team? Who's going to break out? Just what you said.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. They stay on the ground. This time it's Hill. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Play action. It's Jackson. He's going to air one out. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Then the Dolphins getting set to go here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to...
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And they are able to break the tie and move out in front here in this fourth quarter. He's given him a little jolt, just gave him the lead there, but 2 TDs now in the game.
And that jolt puts them in the lead. What a terrific job by him. He is carrying the ball and simply saying, I want to win.
And now he's hoping his defense has that mentality as they try to hang on to that lead. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense. Get a couple of first downs.
It's caught inside the 25. A big play that time for the Ravens. 53 yards. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory? One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
Jackson. He may try and run for this. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
He certainly had plenty of success running the ball, and right now I'm getting the sense that he's looking to take off and run every time he steps back to throw it.
But they did a nice job there collapsing on him and holding him to a short gain. Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, I don't think we'll have to look very hard to find our play of the game. That was an absolutely monstrous big play right there. Backs to the wall. The offense has in the red zone, driving for the winning score. And he says, not on my watch. And that is one happy bunch on the sidelines.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They get the crucial turnover, just huge, but now they've got the football deep in their own territory, and you got to be careful because if you give it right back, there goes your lead.
Have to be extremely happy with their defense. They received a gift. That takeaway, even though they're deep in their own territory, now they have the football. And you know there's always that alpha on defense, that grouchy guy. Forget what the coaches said. I'll guarantee you, he told the quarterback, we just took care of you. Now you take care of us.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. They'll drop the throw. And almost intercepted. That would have been his third pick in this game alone. Instead, fourth down.
I'm trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Here's Matt Hawk now. And you wonder, could they possibly think about taking a safety here? Shifty.
Whoa.
And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. So Lamar Jackson in the offense. Down by 6. Just over 1:40 to play. It's got to be a touchdown here, and that won't be easy. On the road, in the playoffs, as they've got it with a first down. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They'll look to throw.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
That's good for 28 yards. Back to throw. Well, they have had no answer for this connection all night long.
They just have to think in a 2-minute situation, that's got to be a concentration lap. You know they're going to go back to him with the game that he's been having. Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure. How many times have we seen this late in the fourth quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
They come up on a 1st and goal, and most likely 4-down territories. They need a touchdown and a PAT for the lead. And he is in as they have tied it late here in the final minute of the fourth quarter.
And now we've got a tie game after that touchdown. And you and I both know what that means. Extra point in this situation, this little time left, takes on some extra emphasis, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Now inside the final minute, can they get it and hold on? Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And they finally get to him, but not before he's past the 45 to the 46-yard line.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep down. This is caught inside the 15. time running out, and they have taken the lead here in the final minute. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the fourth quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through, all the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. They'll look to throw to the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. So the inability there to get the two-point conversion sort of leaves the door at least a little bit more ajar.
And puts the onus now on the kickoff team and the defense to make sure they don't give up a big play that puts them in position to lose.
Especially on this kickoff. Got to be careful. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short of the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So line of scrimmage still with 39 on 2nd and 10. Now one final throw here is incomplete, and that is how this one will come to an end. And they have secured a spot in the conference championship, and now you can start to smell it at this point in the season, can't you?
You really can, because the focus has been one game at a time, not looking ahead. But when you get to the conference championship game and you know you're there, the Super Bowl does loom in the future.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon.